Wow, I'm a little dark. Um, hang on for a second. There we go. So, yeah, I'm doing this in my dining room because I wanted to keep an eye on the Illinois-Indiana game and the Michigan-Penn State game. Right now, not Michigan State, but Michigan-Penn State. Michigan's up 7-3. Uh, Last I saw, Indiana was ahead of Illinois 7-3. Same score. So, okay. All right. Hi, Ari. Good to see you. Okay, so this podcast is going to be about basketball and soccer. I know you guys are all anxiously awaiting. You're probably watching some football before the Iowa game comes on at 12:30 my time, 2:30 some of you guys. Um, so here's a good way to kill some time. I wanted to sneak in a podcast. You guys, Jason's not here because Jason is at the game. He's going to be at the game, and so that should be kind of fun. And so for him, and so okay, I'm getting distracted by the TV. I'm really sorry. Okay, so and Paul, I believe, is working today, and so but we'll still do our regular podcast tomorrow night for the football game, Rutgers post game, and let's hope we're talking about a victory. Um, okay. Right now I feel a little uneasy with the Rutgers game. Outside of Penn State, this is probably the most offensive team we've played all year because really, let's be honest, most of the teams we played didn't have an offense, so it helped our defense. Sure, got credit for some of that, but they don't get credit for all of it because those guys are having worse out score wise. They're worse than we are. Okay. Over under dropped to 27.5. Oh my God. You realize this is going to be like so that means it has to be like a 14-13 game or something like that. 10-7 game again. Let's hope not. Casey you picked 7-13. Okay. Well, let's get talking about the basketball. Tomorrow night we'll be able to talk all that football we want on it. And maybe if we got some time, we can talk a little more football leading into the game. So here we are. Okay, we'll start with the women's basketball because they were on Thursday night. They beat a very good Virginia Tech team, 80-76. Darn it, I forgot to get those girls' stats from the Virginia Tech team. That's okay. Um, so our field goal percentage was 41.2%. That's not that bad considering how bad our 3-point shooting was. Just think if we could have got our 3-point shooting up another 10%, just think what that would have done to our overall game. Okay, 23% 3-point shooting for the women. They're not hitting the threes like they could. They should get better. Caitlin Clark herself was 5 for 16 on the 3-point shots. Okay. We expect better from Caitlin, but we do also know that that's Caitlin. Caitlin just fires them up, and eventually they start going if they don't start going right away. But she did have 6 assists and 8 rebounds. I think the other thing we probably might want to be concerned with is for the second straight game, and there's only 2 games that count, Gabby Marshall was held to 0 points. Okay. She contributes in other ways, but she was 0 for 6 from the 3-point line. So that also contributed to our really bad 3-point shooting percentage. And let's see what she else contributed. She only had 1 assist. So basically, she was out there probably focusing on her defense, which I believe the girl she was guarding was Amar, and she had like 30 some points. So, but the team and Bluter still credit Gabby for her hustle out there, and the fact that she was out there working hard on defense, even though her girl went off on her for 30 some points. Okay. Everybody noticed that Addison O'Grady was missing, and I still don't know why. I don't know. Maybe if you guys had heard, she was not the girl in the boot. I did mention that I saw somebody on the sideline in a boot. I thought maybe it might be her. It wasn't her, as it turned out. I can't remember who they said it was. But anyway, else contributing, Molly Davis only had no points, but she had 2 assists. Um, so um, she was serviceable, even though she started both halves. She got in foul trouble the first half, but never picked up another foul. So I'm not sure why her minutes were only 15 minutes if she was a starter. Um, and so after, let's see, after Clark's 44 points, and then we got Hannah Stokey with 12 points, but 0 assists, which, of course, that's not her job to get assists. And she had 4 boards, though. She, too, was in foul trouble, so she also only got about 17 minutes of gameplay. And you know that this year she's gonna get closer into the 30s for points. So she come up with 12. Kate Martin had 10 with 1 assist. Kylie Feuerbach had 8 with 3 boards. Sydney O'Folter only had 2 points, but she had 14 boards, guys. I understand. I didn't see a whole lot of the second half. I just ran through the highlights and stuff because I was at a Bible study. I watched the entire first half, but skimmed through the second half highlights and stuff. And but she looked like she was a force to be reckoned with in the second half. Although I think it was her or was no, it was Kylie at one point who fired up a shot too early in the with them trying to run the clock down going into, I believe, from the third to the fourth quarter. I don't know if you guys are watching, but Michigan just scored another touchdown. So there goes my hope that Indiana or Penn State might win this game. I believe I picked Penn State. Um. Okay. So that's good. Here's the question though. Goodman is supposed to be our starting center the last 2 games. Okay, she went off for 19 points in one game, but manage 4 points this game and 3 boards. Now I think it's because Caitlin. If I remember the last game, Caitlin did an excellent job of feeding the ball to O'Grady and Goodman and put them in positions to score. But they didn't score a ton of when Goodman had some layups, she missed some really crucial layups, I thought. Okay. So anyway, yeah, still want to know where O'Grady was because honestly, I, in my personal opinion, she is the better of the two. But for whatever reasons, okay, you guys, am I still here? Am I still there? Okay, hopefully I am. Okay. Look like I lost you guys briefly, and so that's the women's side of things. Okay. I think the women will be fine. They have a very tough game against UNI. UNI is picked to win their conference, so going to UNI is not going to be a cakewalk, and they got to play in um, at UNI in their gym. I can't remember what they call their gym. Okay. You know, let me bring up something because Ari said, "Hmm, am I not able to pin the messages up there anymore?" Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I'm reading your messages. So Ari took the over on, and I'm sure this game today. The funny thing is last night I went to my son's soccer game, so I missed the second half of the men's game, but I came back and watched the entire thing. I found it on Peacock, on a replay Peacock, so I watched the entire thing. But funny thing is I went to my grandson's soccer game last night, so I'm wearing my Hawkeye hoodie. I'm wearing my Hawkeye stocking cap, and a guy comes up to me and he goes, "I took the under. Am I going to be okay?" And I go, "Yeah, probably. You shouldn't have much problem." He goes, "Good. I'm coming to find you if it goes if it ends up being the over." And I said, "I don't know." And then he walked away and he goes, "It's easy money with Iowa." And so Iowa's got a reputation even among non-Iowa fans now because now they're betting the unders on Iowa's games. How about that, guys? Okay, moving on. All right. So the men um won 98-67 last night. Bama State shot 35% from the field where Iowa shot 46 from the field. Only 27% from the 3-point line. And there for a while, I thought they were doing pretty good on the 3-point line. They must have gone ice cold later because I thought early in the game when they were taking it to Iowa a little bit and that they were way over that. Um, Iowa shot 31%, 9 for 29 on 3-point shots, which that's probably if you can consistently be 30% or higher on that. I think that would do it, honestly. Okay, but we only shot 66% at the free throw line. Looks like we were 23 of 35. Guys, that is just ridiculously low. We can't be shooting that, especially, we got Creighton coming up, I believe, on Tuesday next week. You know, we're not going to win game. We're not going to win games because, Creighton's not a pushover, as you guys know. Creighton's going to probably beat us anyway, unless, this is going to be the first real test. I really shouldn't say because with the men I've come in this year with, I'm not really expecting much from the men. I'm going with no expectations. So if they win, I'll be happy. If they lose, okay. It probably was meant to be because I'm not sure where this team is. But the one thing that keeps impressing me is Brock Harding and Owen Freeman. Yes, they're freshmen. They're probably making a few mistakes here and there. But you know what? I like the future of Hawkeye basketball with those two guys. I really do. For example, Freeman did score 8 points, 6 from 9 from the field. Right? No, that ain't right. What did he get 6 of 9 from? Hmm. He couldn't have scored 8 points and been 6 for 9. So I'll have to double check my stats on that. Um, Perkins, well, PMAC was the high scorer last night, and I think this is going to be a team where somebody new is always going to be the high scorer. All the time. Peyton Stanford was the last game, and PMAC is this game with 22 points, and Peyton Stanford come back with um, 17 points, 4 assists, and he was 3 for 3 at the free throw line. Oh, that's what it is. Freeman was 6 for 9 at the free throw line, so he got most of his points at the charity line. So let's see. Freeman, yeah, we said 8 points. Crinky had 13 points, but you know what? His free throw shooting needs to improve. 3 for 8, not going to cut it because Grinky, you're going to be the one spending a lot of time on the free throw line because you're the inside man. You're the one that's going to get fouled a lot. You need to go to the free throw line. As you did, you had 18 attempts at the free throw line last night, right? Or 8 attempts. Yeah, you had 8 attempts at the free throw line and you only came away with 3 points. That's not good, okay? Perkins was the next person. He had 12 points with 3 assists. He was 4 for 5 at the line. And I forgot to tell you, PMAC was perfect, 6 for 6, and so was Peyton Stanford. The rest of the guys didn't, it was insignificant what they did at the free throw line. Dix had 7 points and 3 assists. Bryce Stanford had 6 points, 2 assists. Harding had 5 points, but man, he had 7 assists. Guys, he can see you. He can see these guys. He can put these guys in a good position to score because he looks to me like not only is um, he eventually he'll score, but right now his assist looks fantastic, really good. 'Cause I think that's the second straight game he did that. By the way, we only had an attendance of 88.14 compared to the women. I forgot to write down their attendance from the other night. I'm sure the game was sold out, but I'm not sure the arena was 100% full though. Oh no, they weren't even there. I'm sorry, they weren't even at home. They did have, I think they had 14 or 15,000 at that game. That at Charlotte. Um, Not sure. I know that was set up by the Charlotte City people game, a one-time thing. So um, we'll do from there. So yeah, so that looks like it's pretty good for the men. But still, Riley McCulvey, this is an opportunity last night where he emptied the bench again, except for Riley McCulvey. Is he hurt? Does anybody know, or is he just not that good anymore? And um, McCaffrey trying to force him out or something? Because McCaffrey doesn't have to force anybody out. If he doesn't want them, he can just tell them, "You're out. Go to the transfer portal. I'm pulling your scholarship." Okay. And to think, this guy's third or fourth year in the program. I've lost track, and to think he left high school early because he thought Iowa really needed a big man, and they thought they could use him. And he's never panned out the way he was supposed to. And I'm not sure, but we're also not giving him the opportunity to pan out the way he should. Okay. All right. Moving on to soccer. Soccer. The women won their second ever NCAA soccer game last night. They're in this NCAA tournament as a 5 seed. Um, they beat Bucknell last night. Okay. They beat Bucknell last night. 2-0 in overtime. I'm trying to figure out how do you score 2-0 in overtime, because usually overtimes is the first team to score, game's over. Well, that's called the golden rule, and I guess the NCAA did away with it after last year, and so this year you have to go through the full 15 minutes of overtime. Probably a rule pushed by all the losing coaches who've ever lost in overtime to a in a 15-minute overtime, who thinks that they should have a chance to come back and score two. So Iowa gets two. They get the game winner, um, which was by I think Josie Durr, yeah, Durr. 6 minutes into the overtime, and then with the overtime about to expire, um, Kelly McGrody scored a goal for the other goal. So they're going to move on, and they're going to face number 4 Georgia. And it's gonna be at Clemson. So Clemson's hosting this, and Clemson is the number 1 seed in this bracket, and they're gonna face the winner of Rutgers Columbia, which I haven't looked, but I bet it was Rutgers. Um, like I said, the only other time Iowa won an NCAA game was in 2021. Was also the last time they won the Big Ten tournament. Um, okay, so let's see what else we got, because there isn't a lot to say about this game. There was the Iowa set a record. This game was on their home field, and they set a record with 26,039 fans. So that's pretty good for them. Iowa had 22 shots on goal compared to only 5 for Bucknell. Iowa had 1 save, and Bucknell had 9 saves. 11 fouls by Bucknell. Iowa had 13 fouls. Iowa does foul a lot, guys, when I'm watching the games on TV. But the girls are usually retaliating. They're usually getting held or pushed or something, but the referees never catch it. And then our girls look like they like to retaliate, whether they get caught or not. And so that's what it looks like to me, which is why they always get a lot of fouls called on them. Okay, Iowa took 5 corner shots, which you can score off a corner really easily. Nobody had any offsides in this game. Um, if you ever get a chance to watch the women play, I mean, it's on ESPN Plus this last game, and I don't know what this next game if it'll be ESPN Plus or what. Um, Probably. Um, but if you get a chance to watch them, they're really a good defensive soccer team. Offensively, I think they're a little challenged, which is why they took 22 shots on goal and only got 2 goals in between regulation and overtime. But yeah, you should give them a shot. So, I mean, you guys, if you have any more comments or anything, we can talk a little football. Michigan's up 14-9 currently. Does anybody know what the Indiana Illinois score looks like? Because I'm gonna have to let me look and see if I can find it real quick. Um, okay, switch it over to the Iowa Illinois. Um, Little slow coming up on my TV, but my internet's not the best, guys. I'm out in the country. Indiana 27 and Illinois 12. Wow, we got Illinois next week, guys. I did not see that coming. I believe I picked Illinois in this game. So yeah. uh, Penn State went for two. Oh yeah. Oh, Illinois just scored a touchdown, guys. So hold that. It's now 27-18 pending the extra point. Um, so yeah. Only reason why I was watching the Illinois Indiana game because we're playing Illinois next week, and I wanted to get a feel for Illinois, what they're like and everything. And we've already played Penn State, and as long as we win the Big Ten championship in the West, yeah, that might come back. On replay, they're showing the Illinois player, his foot's halfway out of bounds before the ball breaks the plane, right at the 1 foot line. But no, I guess they're not reviewing it. They're going to, okay, they let the extra point go, so they didn't review it. So I guess the touchdown stands. Yeah, Ari, I can see that. I can honestly see that. Penn, sometimes these coaches outthink themselves, and you wonder why. You know why they outthink the. I think, like, Brian Ferentz. A lot of times in the Wisconsin games, I always felt like he outcoached himself. That he had a mental block because you know how sometimes some of our worst games until these last couple years have come against Wisconsin. And so yeah. Anyhow, yeah, come against because I think that's one of those games where Brian tried to get real conservative because he didn't want to make a mistake in the game. So, you know, but the other time, another time that I think Brian made a huge coaching error is when he threw the ball 55 times against Northwestern, and we were up at 17-0 at one point. That's not Iowa's MO to keep throwing the ball when they're up. We get up 17-0, and they methodically come back and win the game. Well, I think it would the final score 21-20 or something like that. Uh, but anyhow, yeah, I don't know what you guys think about today's game. Whether you feel, I don't really feel good about it at this point. Um, I'm hoping we win. I'm hoping our defense can stop Rutgers. Like I said, this is one. Excuse me. This is one of the highest ranking offensive teams we've played outside of Penn State this year. Um, and so of course our last two games are against teams that don't have um, any offense. Yeah, Ari, you say Rutgers 13, Hawks 15. Yeah, yeah, and that would still put them right at the under, right? Because it's 28.5 or 27.5 now. I believe we said it was 27.5. So yeah, keeps going down. So I'm not very good at. Must be halftime. It's halftime in the Penn State game. Okay, so yeah, Ari, you got it at 27. So yeah, honestly, I hope Iowa scores some touchdowns today. I hope our offense just comes alive and just opens up the floodgates. Wouldn't that be nice for a change? That we can find some running room and run a couple hundred yards, and that Deacon could find his receivers today and pass for a couple hundred yards. Wouldn't that be cool? Really, wouldn't that be cool? 85% of the tickets are on the under. Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, I believe that's if I was a betting man, that's how I would go. I did try to sign up for a betting app here in California, but it stopped me. It stopped me cold in my tracks. Said stop. Gambling's illegal in your state. You cannot use this app. Okay, California, of all the most liberal places in the country to live, one of the most liberal states to live in, and we can't gamble here. So my question is, even though I'm a California resident, when I go back to Iowa, can I legally gamble if I set up an account when I'm inside of the state of Iowa? You guys know how that works? Okay. Yeah. Guys, yeah, like I said, I'm at my dining room table and we have an open concept between our kitchen and our living room and our dining room. So I got a clear view of the TV in the living room, and it's a 55-inch screen, so I can kind of see it pretty decent. Um, yeah, Huskers can't score either. I know, but their defense is pretty solid. Their defense is pretty solid. Solid. What I'm worried about is it's just kind of like I think between with Illinois and Nebraska, that's just going to come down to because nobody's going to move the ball very well. It's going to come down to who makes the fewest mistakes. Really, who makes the fewest mistakes? Who has the fewest turnovers? And it also depends where the turnovers happen at. Do they happen where we give? Do we do our turnovers and give them short field, or do they do a turnover and give us short field? Yeah, yeah. The Indiana game should be almost at half too. Um, but Illinois is scoring too, but they're playing Indiana. But they're scoring too. So yeah, it's just gonna be an interesting day. I'm excited for the games today. I'm excited that right now I'm missing the Veterans Day parade that my granddaughter's marching in because of my knee surgery. It's you can't get near the parade route. Even if you go early, people take up all over downtown. Plus, the police block off almost they most block off the most entire downtown. You almost have to park on the edge of downtown, end up and get to the parade route. You might have to walk, 7 or 8 blocks to get to the parade route from where you're at. And so last year I went, it was just too hard on the knees. And it's just too hard to be back there. And then there's no room to go to the bathroom. And an old guy like me needs to be near a bathroom. Um, and so I know a little personal stuff out there, guys. So anyhow, we've been on here for nearly half an hour. If you know, want to continue talking, I'll be happy to continue talking with you guys for a while. And if not, I can shut it down too. I just really felt the need to get out the soccer update, the update from the basketball team and the basketball teams because I felt like during football season we kind of forget about them, especially some of the early season games where their games aren't nearly as challenging, should I say? But Iowa men have a challenging game coming up on Tuesday at Creighton. They're going to play at Creighton. Is that part of an ACC challenge or the Gavitt games or something? No, the Gavitt games are Big East. Um, so are they doing the ACC challenge already? Is Creighton's part of the ACC, right? Or are they part of the Big East? I don't know. You guys help me out there. Uh, thanks, Ari. Thanks, Ari. I appreciate you coming on here. You've been a good follower and a good commenter. So has Casey. Um, have a great day watching Hawkeyes, and we get another W. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a good place to end it. Thanks, Ari. Give me the perfect out. Bye, Casey, if you're still out there watching. And I have no idea who the third person is because it doesn't tell me. But there's only three of you watching today, which is fine. I didn't expect without notification um, that you guys would actually find it today. Plus, people are out there and about doing their thing before the game, at tailgates, at the game, and things like that. So I wasn't expecting a big audience. I'm just hoping that we get a lot of viewers on the replay when I actually post it to YouTube, the replay. So guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate your comments, and we will see you tomorrow night. Hopefully with both Jason and Paul. And it'd be interesting since Jason's at the game to get his insights on the things that he saw while in the stands today. Okay. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. I appreciate you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow night.